So without further ado, I'll start the evening, but thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for using your voice. Let's continue to do it. We have to clean house this November. We have a serious election that we need to take care of. We all know Gabrielle Giffords has failed us. Raul Grijalva has failed us. And we cannot sit still anymore. We need to be out there and be actively participant in this political experience. And out there, all of those candidates out there, we never endorse any of the candidates because we want you to choose. And whoever's elected in, that's who we're going for.
And we have been saying, Mr. President, do your job. Secure the border, send the armed troops that we need to our Mexico international border that we have here, and to protect our families and to protect America. And meanwhile, he's looked at it, instead of a national security issue and a public safety issue, he's looked at it as a political issue. How can we paint the other side, the Republicans, as these racist people who are protectionists and who are really trying to spin this issue the other direction? That's wrong. That's wrong for anybody to do that. Another part of that is not just to look at it as a political issue. In his rush to defend his side, when Arizona, our legislature rightly passed this law, the governor signed the bill, made 1070 the law of the land for Arizona. The first things that Eric Holder did, and the president, and then our former governor, Janet Napolitano, without reading the law, decided to attack us and to criticize the law. And guess who was caught in the crosshairs? Law enforcement was. This is outrageous that the president of our nation, this is the first time a president has ever done such a thing, to undermine law enforcement directly, to plant in people's minds now here in Arizona and throughout America that a law enforcement officer who wears a badge, carries a gun, who puts his or her life on the line each and every day for our families in America, now they stop a Hispanic person because they were speeding, or they were driving recklessly, or maybe they were weaving in and out of the lanes of traffic, and pulls them to the side of the road. Why did you stop me? Because I'm Hispanic? The president just gave them that in their mind that that's for real. This is what we have going on in our country, that instead of trying to be a calming influence to the situation, he incites the worst fears in people. And he uses law enforcement and the fears and apprehensions some people already have and makes them real for them. The perception becomes the reality. And that is unacceptable. And that is unforgivable that the president has done that. So the only way we can have change, not just on the border. You know, all of us have grown up in America, and the things that I've learned, regardless of your political party, or the fact that whether you were involved in government or not, we can't afford not to. That this is a republic. That this is a government that, in the end, the power comes from the citizens. That it isn't the office of sheriff, that it isn't the office of governor, or senator, or president of the United States. That we have gotten away from the fact that the most powerful office in the land is that of private citizen.
Because spending is the issue. What you have as discretionary income at the end of each month is really what grows our economy. What you've spent your money on is what grows our economy. What liberals think is the government grows the economy, not the private sector. And they actually will give you rationale for that. That since they set the regulations, they set the rules for that, and so they put that playing field together, they are then entitled to tax however much they need to make government work. Just like Obamacare was a transfer of wealth, the energy policy that Obama proposes, cap and trade, or any kind of carbon value or tax, is a transfer of wealth. And that's the intent of this, is to transfer wealth. You start getting into, well, that makes sense. Wait a minute, you're buying into something here, because all of a sudden something you heard makes sense. That's not what it's about. It's about picking your pocket. And you got to remember that. It's about the money. It's not about the policy. It's about the money. You know, sometimes they don't believe conservatives are environmentalists. We are. We're just not over the edge. You know, we're not willing to die so that the environment can go on without us. You know, we want to live in this environment. And so,
Mr. Pierce, I understand that Barry Wong is running as a candidate, and he is running on this platform that he is going to turn off the utilities for all illegal aliens. How is he planning on doing that?
that is such a good question. I talked to Russell Pierce about this last week, and I said, what do you think Barry's plan? And he says, when you see Barry, would you tell him that we at the legislature have this under control? And so that's what he told me to tell you, Barry, is that the legislature has this under control.
Thank you for the question. And I know the subject matter has come up in the last few days and drawn a lot of controversy in the debate and discussion. And my position is that with regard to services, in this case the electric and utility services provided, actually overseen by the Corporation Commission, is that if there is an impact on rates, for example, by the illegal population, should the Corporation Commission be involved in that? In terms of the impact on the infrastructure of the state. And my answer is yes, because the illegal population is costing all of us, whether it's healthcare, emergency rooms to the hospitals, K-12 education, and then in this case, the Corporation Commission specifically, is that as they use more utility services and stretching the capacity of some of the, for example, power plants, the companies would have to build more power plants to meet the demand. So that's why I came up with my position, is that maybe we should look at whether the illegal population should receive services. It's not an entitlement, utilities, it's a service. So I think it's within the realm of possibility, but again, we'd have to get all the parties together to think of and analyze this. I'm not saying it's going to happen today or tomorrow or even in a year, but the point is that if we don't start thinking about this, and sending messages out there that, hey, if you're illegal, they say that what risk do they have coming to America? They get, once they cross the border, they get all the benefits that we receive as citizens and legal residents. So I said we start discussing this and looking for ways. I think it's doable. If there's a will, there's a way. And then people say, what about constitutionality, Mr. Wong? Well, the presumption of an elected body is if you pass something, just like the legislature, is presumed constitutional until it's challenged by a court of law, and the court of law says it's unconstitutional. So I think it's within a realm of possibility. It's not an entitlement, it's a service, and we need to get the message across. Enough is enough.